the raise hand tool. If you need access to record, shoot me a note in the chat window and we can get that for you. Grayson Mann, you're up first. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, this is Grayson Mann with TigerNet. Just wanted to get your assessment when you're looking at the film for your clash with Clemson tomorrow, what you have taken away from watching Brad Brownell's team for the first 15 games.
Yeah, they're very good. One of the best teams in the entire conference. There's no question. I've known Brad for a long, long time, and their teams are always so well coached, so disciplined. They're tough. They're physical. They're big, and they got great skill as well. We have our work cut out for us. You know, I just have the ultimate respect for him and their program over the years. And this year's edition is no different. It's a very, very dangerous team.
CL Brown, go ahead.
Hi, Pat. I wanted to get your take on how you balance using history to your advantage. I noticed after the Virginia game, you said that you hadn't told the team about the previous history in Charlottesville and the bad luck or whatever that the program has had. But the flip side of that is how much do you use just kind of the history of this program in terms of the high standards and everything to elevate? Like, how do you balance when you say, okay, we have a chance to do something that's never been done, or just say this is the standard that we need to be held to?
Yeah, I'm more the latter of what you just talked about. I've been asked a lot of questions about, the last couple of years and from the very beginning when I got the job, and we haven't talked about any of that. We just talked about the present and talked about what we can control, and that's what's right in front of us. You've heard me use the word process a million times. I honestly had no clue about the history of our record at Virginia until Paul in the pregame radio interview mentioned it to me. And there's times coaches have to find ways to push buttons and motivate your guys, and you're always looking for little nuggets along the way from time to time. I didn't think it was the right time to bring it up to our guys right before the game. I felt like we were really locked in. We had 2 great days of preparation getting ready for Virginia. I felt really good about the game. I just save stuff like that, keep it in the pocket for a rainy day, and I didn't feel like we needed it yesterday. And our guys played really, really well. In the excitement of the locker room, I forgot to mention to them after the game, but today's day and age, the way young people are on social media, I'm sure they probably knew about it way, way before I did. Because I'm not.
And I wanted to ask if there were any aspects of the revival, so to speak, if you were ahead of schedule from any aspect that you thought about.
Yeah, I think, again, I know what you're getting at, and I know I'm a very boring interview sometimes when it comes to that. I mean, obviously we use that as our slogan, our rallying cry from a marketing standpoint in the community. And I think people feel that we're building great momentum. The success we've had in the early part of the season, I mean, now that we're at the midway mark, you can feel the energy and things like that and the excitement in the fan base. And that's really what the revival was all about. But with our guys, we're not even talking about the Virginia game the other day. We're not talking about the game before that. And I even forget who we played. We're not talking about, what's going to come the game after, 2 games after Clemson, because I don't even know who we play then. Our sole focus, 100% focus, is to get ready for one of the best teams in our entire conference in a big time showdown. And we're just totally focused on practice yesterday and today and trying to get out of the driveway.
Thank you.
Brooks Holton, go ahead.
Hey, Pat, good morning. I'm still trying to focus on getting out of Charlottesville due to the weather, but hopefully we'll be making it back to Louisville tonight.
Good luck.
Thank you. Was going to ask, you went with a lineup on Saturday that was really small with Kadir, Chucky, Rain, Terrence, and Javon. I'm just wondering, now that you have Kadir back, just, does that kind of open the door to do that more often? Throwing out a really small ball look and kind of that adds to the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer that it's not how big you are, it's how big you play. And I didn't even really consider it kind of a small ball lineup because you just mentioned some really, really tough dudes in that lineup that you rattled off. So again, I just, you probably consider your front court guys in that lineup. If you had to pick two of them to be Javon and Kadir, those guys are versatile and they can guard a bunch of different positions and they're tough as heck, as is our front court guys as well. So again, I think the big thing is not how big you are, it's how big you play, and those guys play really big and tough.
David Teal, go ahead.
Had a provincial question from here in Virginia. How would you assess Terrence Edwards' transition to the ACC this year and what he has brought to your club?
I'm trying my best to expand my vocabulary, so I don't know exactly what provincial means. I'm sorry. My Xavier education didn't get me to that level. I'm just kidding. But I know what you're saying. Terrence has been a joy to coach. Obviously, coming from JMU, and Mark did a remarkable job with him and built that program into one of the best in the country. I mean, they were top 25. They won 1 million games. We played Terrence early on in his career at JMU. And then obviously to see him late in his career, just the trajectory of how he's grown, how he's gotten better in every aspect of his game. He's got a great attitude, works hard every day. He's a terrific leader for us. His calling card is his ability to really, really score the ball. And he can do that with the best of them. Thing I'm most proud of is the last 2 games. It was 2 of the best defensive performances that I've seen out of him since he's gotten to Louisville. And they were major, major. It was a major reason that we won both of them. He really stepped up to the plate and was nasty and tenacious on the defensive end.
How did that nasty defense manifest itself? What did he show you?
Well, going back to the Carolina game, he guarded an All-American for a large portions of the game and was just so locked in on scouting report. He all the actions that they ran him off, he were on. Obviously, Virginia is famous for kind of their motion offense and their mover blocker. And it's so important that you stay engaged, you lock in, you're chasing screening actions constantly. You're getting screened like crazy. And he just bowed his neck, dug in, and all our guys did. You asked me specifically about Terrence, but I just thought he was really locked in on that end from an effort standpoint, from an awareness standpoint, from a discipline standpoint.
We'll go next to Matt McGavage. Go ahead, Matt.
Pat, after losing Kaysen and Corn for the season, you kind of had to reassess and reevaluate your whole approach to this team, given you're going to be short 2 major guys the rest of the year. Kind of looking back on that moment compared to where you are now, do you think you're on schedule or ahead of schedule, given the momentum you guys are on right now?
That was so long ago when those 2 guys went down, and we've come so far since. I don't know what schedule we're supposed to be on. We just try to make today the most important day in the history of Louisville basketball, and where the schedule starts and where it stops. I mean, where it stops is when the buzzer sounds at the end of the season, whether it's, buzzer sounds and you're winning in the national championship game or not. That's where the schedule ends. And it's just important for us to be amazingly and consistent in our approach to our preparation and our daily process. And I say it all the time, we don't get caught up in results. We believe if you're just crazy locked in on the present thing that and you do that consistently, your results are going to be consistent. So I don't ever really look at it like, hey, where are we at right now? I just look at it, what do we have in front of us right now? And let's be great at it. Obviously, the last couple games we played really well at Virginia, but staying true to what I'm saying, that Virginia game, when the buzzer sounded, it's thinking over. Then we got to turn our attention to an unbelievably talented, big physical and well-coached Clemson team. And I'll let you know where we're at on that schedule when that buzzer sounds at the end of that 40 minutes.
We'll finish up with Jody Demling. Go ahead, Jody.
Pat, with Kadir back, what what really does he bring? He does a little bit of everything, as we saw the other day. What's kind of the role for him moving forward?
Kadir is a very versatile player, kind of a jack of all trades guy. He can guard multiple positions. He's very athletic and very active defensively. We need him right now to come off the bench and kind of not maintain the status quo, but to raise the energy level when he comes in. And he really did that the other day. Just came in and affected the game on both ends of the ball. Made an unbelievable, we call them hard plays on the ball. He went vertical at the rim and saved a basket on a rim protection. He was cutting off the ball so well and gotten little seams and got drop offs for dunks. He was rebounding. I mean, in 16 minutes, he had 15 and 8. And that's what we need him to be. He's kind of a positionless type guy. He's good with the ball in his hands because he can get downhill and put foul pressure on you, but he's also a really good passer as well. He gets himself into some trouble sometime if he leaves his feet and tries to figure it out in the air. But it is also part of his charm. It's kind of like when we used to talk about Chucky and Kaysen. You got to kind of let them be them a little bit, gamble at times, as long as they don't get too far out of kilter. And you kind of got to do the same thing with Kadir as well. But man, he was huge for us. And he's faced a lot of adversity this year. So it was awesome to see him having that type of performance.